This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
This is what we have all been waiting for. The NBL finals are here. 4 teams remaining, and tonight the defending champions, Melbourne United, are taking on the new kids on the block, the Tasmanian JackJumpers. Matty Garrick, tell me what you think about tonight's contest.
Well, it certainly is going to be a great game to start this final series. There's a few matchups we want to talk about quickly to start the game. Firstly, we've got the Battle of the Bigs down in the paint with Mikhail McIntosh coming into form during this season against Melbourne United, but he's also got the job of battling out against the in-form rotations of JLA and Hook Porty. Now, in the backcourt, we have offensive firepower in the duo with Josh Adams and Josh Paget. They're going to be hard to guard, but they are coming up against 2 of the best defenders in the league in Daly and Shaili.
Well, we know the boys are ready. We hope you at home are ready. Tonight, we're going to find out who is going to take it to the final level. Let's do this.
Just hit the switch and it's 3 for 3. His creek absolutely said no.
Melbourne United will go into the NBL playoff series as the #1 seed.
What a shot from Tyler Harvey.
Shot clock's down the top. Nothing but net. Chase Buford and his men have won 13 in a row.
Sydney are going to win it. Pandemonium.
Back to Adams, whose 3-ball is back home. The dream is still alive. Tasmania are in the 4.
He went to the next level.
What a day. JLA makes it pay.
Heartbreaker. Jets stands for Josh Adams.
Oh, crazy good. My goodness, Corey. This is next level.
It's one thing to win an NBL title, it's another to try and defend it the following season. And Melbourne United, with 20 wins and 8 losses, have been the benchmark all season long. Tonight, back on their home floor in semi-finals action, they look to get to the grand final once again. Up against them, though, the ultimate Cinderella story in the Tasmania JackJumpers, their first season here in the Hungry Jacks NBL, and here they are as part of the Final 4. Hello and welcome to the NBL Final Series as we take it to final level. Jack Heverin joined in commentary for Game 1 by Liam Santamaria and Pete Hooley. Great to see both of you. This is a very, very special night.
Massive night. How good is this? That the fairy tale team of NBL22 Tassie up against the defending champs to kick off what's going to be a massive final series.
Can't wait for this. As you said, Melbourne United on a quest to go back-to-back. And make no mistake, the JackJumpers, they don't want it any other way. They fight the best with their backs against the wall. They don't want anyone else to believe in them besides their own fans. I'm expecting a battle.
We've got the full lineup assembled tonight. We've already heard from Matty Garrick and Jenny Screen, but we've got a very special guest courtside for us tonight. A man who was part of this lineup last year for Melbourne United has since gone on to star in the NBA. Jock Landale is courtside for us tonight. Jock, welcome, and what a contest we've got first up.
Mate, I think it's going to be a great battle tonight. We've got a lot of guards out here who can play offense for the JackJumpers, and then for Melbourne, we've got some ridiculously good defensive guards. So I think that's going to be where the battle's won tonight. Obviously, Tassie's got to take care of Chris and Joe, and it's a handful. I mean, I've been on the opposite end of a lot of Joe beatdowns, and Chris is a hell of an offensive talent as well, so it'll be a good battle tonight.
Jock, you mentioned Joe Luala-Chul, all NBL first team, took a massive leap this season. What have you made of his campaign?
I mean, to be honest with you, mate, I'm not really too surprised. I think I've seen it all last year. We obviously didn't see enough of it, but, you know, he's a hell of a player, and everything that he's doing to us at United, and I say us because I was there, but, I mean, everything he's doing is stuff we've known that he can do in the past. So he's just getting the opportunity to display it, and I think he's really going to solidify himself as the best big in the competition tonight and going forward in in the final series.
Jock, great to have you with us tonight, and we'll check in across the evening as we take a look at Melbourne United's starting lineup for DoorDash. Use the code DASH2LA on all orders between now and May 29. Big change tonight.
Oh, huge change. Shea Ili into the starting lineup. Just the third time this season that Dean Vickerman has rolled out this starting lineup. They're really one piece away from a defensive death lineup, which I'm sure we'll see at some point in the finals. We'll see how these five get the game started.
For the Tasmania JackJumpers, let's just take a moment to reflect on this. As we mentioned, their first season in the competition, Josh Adams, as part of the All-NBL second team, has been enormous for them. There's no way that anyone could have possibly imagined that this scenario would be playing out. Sure.
No, it's remarkable. They've been incredible in their inaugural campaign. They've won 15 of their past 20 games, so they're coming into the finals in really good form.
Their lineup is a fascinating one, and we'll get to that very shortly because it's been settled. But let's go back to last Sunday. Here is their lineup first and foremost, with thanks to DoorDash. And we spoke about how settled it's been, Pete. They've been together as a group for the last 12 games this year.
Well, they know exactly what it takes to win. They buy in together. They're all going to be doing the same thing. It's all about culture. They both on and off the floor. Expect nothing to change in this one.
And some good support coming off the bench. Mikhail McIntosh, as Matty mentioned, as well as Clint Steindl. That is their DoorDash starting lineup. They had to wait until the final game of the season to learn their fate. But the JackJumpers are here. Semi-final action. Enormous crowd at John Cain Arena. And we are right to go as NBL22 goes to final level. Melbourne in possession first up, with Shea Ili crowned the best sixth man this season, runner-up in the Defensive Player of the Year. Here's Golding. First look, no good. Offensive rebound for Jack White. Mismatch for Golding, pulls the trigger. Shea Ili this time on the O-glass.
Well, 2 offensive rebounds already for Melbourne United. Just trying to set a tone with the energy.
Golding played through the contact. Beautiful pass to White, but he travelled.
It was a good call by the official. It was there, Jack White. Thought he had an easy finish at the rim, but you're right, Pete. You got to win the possession game in playoff basketball, and the JackJumpers are going to need to do a better job on the boards.
Best of luck to our 3 officials as well. Chris Reed, Mitch Hare, and Nico Fernandez. It's Josh Adams, All-NBL second team. Being chased around tonight by Ili. He's going to have plenty of those sorts of tough looks. Dellavedova up the floor. He looks for 3. It's good.
What a start from Delhi. Just driving down, little semi-transition step back 3 to get things started. That's what I'm intrigued about with the JackJumpers. They made it here now, an incredible story. The regular season's over. They've got to lock back in and make sure they just take it one possession at a time, doing exactly what they've done for that streak that Liam was talking about, how well they've played. That's not forcing shots. That's not doing anything that they're not used to. Just playing the same brand of toughness they've done all year long.
Long 3 from Krislovic, no good. Jack McVeigh fights for it. Offensive rebound. Takes on 3 Melbourne players, and that time throws it away. Pete, just take us through, you've been in this scenario before in a team in semi-finals action. Just take us through the atmosphere in the first 5 minutes of game 1 of a series.
Well, I think a lot of it is, especially when you won the title the year before, you know that you're the hunted and you're on your home floor. Fans are expecting you to have another run to get another championship. So there's a little bit of anxiousness to really set the tone and not only send a message to Tasmania in this game and the rest of the series, but the other 2 teams that will be watching this as well. So there's no doubt that they want to get off to a good start. And it's a good offensive start from Delhi.
Man, aggressive from Delhi. Launching it from long range, getting on the front foot and attacking down the lane. 5 quick points for Delhi.
Averaging 10.5 points a game this season. Matthew Dellavedova has 5 in the opening 2 minutes. Kenyon turns the corner. Tassie making hard work of everything. Krislovic forces that in and has their first bucket of the night. That'll be good just to settle their nerves. Dellavedova. Found himself in some trouble. And Ili wide open.
Well, just a bit of defensive miscommunication for the JackJumpers there. But what I did like was you saw Krislovic hard show Delhi. We know in finals, in the playoffs, the whistle goes away a little bit, the physicality should rise, and that's something that should help the JackJumpers. Might have been a bit of contact on the show, but I like that he got out there. Good take from Jack McVeigh, going straight at Jack White. You're going to have to match that intensity every single possession.
Started all 28 games this season, Jack McVeigh. Only started once last season for Adelaide. Adams plays through the contact from Dellavedova. His floater off target, put it back in with the left hand.
Good job from Adams, stay with the play, and I like the way he kept Matthew Dellavedova on his back. Working off those ball screens, Shea Ellie, Matthew Dellavedova, the way they blow up those actions. It's a little important battleground in this one.
Delly short on the 3-ball. McVeigh pulls up in transition. Jack McVeigh.
Oh, Mr. Energy, that's what he does. Only on their home floor, but just in transition. How do you do, Jack White? And I can tell you what, anyone who's seen Jack McVeigh play knew that was going up the minute he stepped over half court. But how's Shea Ellie and Delhi stepping into 3 balls here to start this one? Good offensive start for Melbourne United. They only averaged 74 points across the 3 games in the regular season against Tasmania. They're lowest against any team in the competition. So that's been a credit to the defense across the regular season from Tasmania.
Here's McVeigh, this time guarded by White. He's fouled. It's good. He's owning this opening quarter.
Big time start from Jack McVeigh, making his NBL Finals debut. And he's come out in this big moment on the attack. Pull up, triple in transition. In Jack White's face, Shea Ellie shooting over 40% from 3 this season. He is not going to hesitate. Then McVeigh and 1 bucket down the other end. This to tie it up.
Makes the extra as well. He has 7 points in the game so far on a perfect 3 of 3. And perhaps any nerves that were there early, as it's knocked out of bounds, have been settled.
I'm surprised Melbourne hasn't gone a little bit harder at Joe Luala-Chul early, especially with the success he had. He did lose the game, but he had a 20-20 game against them, and with no Will Magnay to try and make him a bit of a focus, and the JackJumpers would know that as well.
Mason Peatling checks into the game.
Hot start from Melbourne from long range. 4 of 7 from 3. Delhi, Illy, and Peatling connecting from long range.
Kenyon drives hard, lost possession. It's a Melbourne ball. They're the #1 3-point shooting team in the competition this season, Liam.
Well, they are, but Tassie are the best team at defending the 3-point line. Lowest percentage against them. And Melbourne just 24% from 3 against Tassie this season. So to come out and start hot from outside is a big boost for the ladder leaders.
They lead by 3. It's Dellavedova. It's the back in on Jack White. Shot clock's down to 4. Nice hands from Majet.
Really good awareness from Josh Majet. Just getting that 3-quarter front and getting a hand in. Does lob the deep 3 too.
It's off target. His first field goal of the night. An attempted field goal all the same. He fell over that time, which left a guarder wide open. He's long as well. 4.5 minutes remaining in the opening quarter of semi-final #1. Adams is fouled in the act of shooting.
That's what we're talking about Adams when he comes off those ball screens. The same thing with Josh Majet, Dellavedova, Shea Ellie, all these guys, Caleb Agata, Udo Bubba when he checks in, fighting over these picks and then stopping, keeping them on their back. There he draws the foul. Who wins that little battle throughout this series? Do the Tassie guards get their looks off those ball screens, or do Melbourne's defensive dynamos get on top?
Some substitutions here for the JackJumpers. Gerald Bairstow into the game. We're matching up with Hook Porty down low for Melbourne United. Normally that's Mikhail McIntosh first big off the bench. Now it is a bit surprising because Mikhail McIntosh has had his best series games against Melbourne United all season long, averaging just under 14 points a game.
Nice finish from Agata.
I reckon McIntosh won't be far away. I dare say Scott Ross just riding with Jack McVeigh for a little bit longer. His hot start just leaving him out there at the 4 spot for the time being.
Sam McDaniel also into the game against his former team, was part of Melbourne's championship winning group last season as a starter. as well in the finals, now coming off the bench in the back half of the season for the JackJumpers. Shot clock again in single numbers. Adams on the move. Forced into a tough shot by the presence of Hook Porty. Melbourne run the floor. Agata travels.
Oh, we know that guy. Josh Giddey sitting courtside, checking in on Melbourne United.
He's got his agent, Daniel Moldovan, on his left, and his manager, Olgun Hulick, on his right.
Said during the week on a piece with Andrew Gaze that this is his favourite place to play other than last year at the Entertainment Centre. Grew up watching Melbourne United. He trained with Melbourne United in 2018. Was running around with Dyson Daniels at training.
White, no basket.
Offensive foul here on the JackJumpers and Sam McDaniel.
Yes, of course, Sam McDaniel started for this Melbourne United team on a championship group last season, and here he is, new team, new colours, up against his old squad in the finals.
Scott Rod spoke about McDaniel and his sacrifice. Had his legs taken out there by Peatling, accidentally. Everyone's okay. Sam McDaniel in many ways kind of typifies the JackJumpers, Liam. One of their first signings. Big expectation of the role that he would play as coming from a starter, as you say, in a championship team. He's now coming off the bench and has accepted that role.
Yeah, selfless. That's what this group's been all season long. And you're right, he epitomises it, but he's got an important job. He and Matt Kenyon in this series, guarding Chris Golding.
A couple of free throw attempts so far from Golding. Unsuccessful. As Melbourne lead by 3, Magette.
It's good defence from Hook Porty, just moving his feet. The smaller Magette had a mismatch, dancing with the ball. Have another look at this, Hook Porty, and how's the news of the week for Melbourne United? Porty coming back, committed to NBL23. Not going to declare for the draft this year, and his improvement's been outstanding all season long. Under the helm from Dean Vickerman.
Zero, push.
There's Mikhail McIntosh in for his first minutes.
Yeah, he's called for the foul here, but this is one of the things the JackJumpers do defensively.
Let's do it, guys, let's go.
They pressure opposing bigs. Anytime you want to flip it to a big to bring it up, JackJumpers don't want any part of that. They're going to get all over Mason Peatling or Joe Lawala-Chul. These guys, as they try to advance the ball and try to make you uncomfortable.
And I love that because Melbourne United are going to do that. When starting Shaylee, Dellavedova, they're going to set the tone defensively themselves. JackJumpers aren't going to take a back step. If you're going to do that at one end, we're going to do it back the other side.
Agata off target. Magette put it out in front of Sam McDaniel. That pass was a little adventurous. And a turnover for Tasmania. Their 5th of the opening quarter.
And it's a couple for Josh Magette as well. He's been so important for them all season as their floor general, making good decisions as Udai Baba checks in. Of course, he was a bit of a finals hero for Melbourne United last year.
Ranked 2nd in the competition for first quarter points, Melbourne, at 23. And leading by 3 at the moment. Down to Hook Porty. Size advantage over Bairstow. Couldn't finish.
Well defended by Bairstow. Might have got away with a little bit of shuffling of the feet as well.
Magette gave up his look for Bairstow, who drew contact from Peatling.
A miscommunication there. Josh Magette teed off from 3. Ain't the right play to Jared Bairstow. Peatling comes across and makes sure he doesn't get anything easy.
Just dropped the hands at the last moment. Peatling picks up that foul. Beautiful drop-off pass from Magette.
Mason Peatling comes out of the game. Let's get courtside to Jenny Screen.
Gentlemen, we spoke about at the start of the game, the backcourt presence of Melbourne United. Their rotations have been quick and fast in this first quarter. Delhi's back in after a short break. Illy's out again. We've had Baba inject in as well. So you can see they want to focus on Adams and Magette and make sure every catch they get is so hard. And right now, they're working for all of those catches. I don't know if you can pick it up on the TV, but from where I stand, every catch is a difficult one right now.
Thank you, Jen. Two-time Olympian Jenny Screen. Courtside with us tonight alongside Matty Garrick and Jock Landale. As Melbourne turn to their veterans, Dave Barlow and Brad Newley into the game. Barlow, first back from concussion. His first look is short. Now Clint Steindl, the Tasmanian captain, has McIntosh open on the perimeter. That's deep.
It's going to be an offensive foul. Hook Porty. Cleaned up. Oh, McIntosh just jumped in front of the big fella running the lane. Let's have another look. Don't often like to see that if the big's not paying attention, and Hook Porty tried to get out of the way, but McIntosh just stayed still and got cleaned up. It's the right call. We see it so often. How's this bringing the ball up and defending from Hook Porty?
Steindl works together with McIntosh. Little two-man game as he muscles into the paint. And he's on the free throw.
And that's more like it from Mikhail McIntosh. Teed up from long range early in the shot clock. The previous possession, just 24% from 3 on the season. That's where he's at his best. Put it on the deck, use your strength, that quick first step that you have, and just gets himself to the free throw line.
Should be coming into this series very confident, McIntosh. I mean, the back half of this year was night and day from where he started, but what turned his entire season around, besides a conversation with Scott Roth, was on this floor against Melbourne United. Had 16 points. He only had 1 double-digit scoring in about the 10 or 11 games prior to that. And then after that, it just seemed to build him with confidence. And since then, we know he had 20 points in the final game of the season against Melbourne United. So he should be feeling very good coming into this.
And this is the second. Rebound by Luala-Chul. 3rd in the MVP voting. Speaking of voting, there's Dean Vickerman, the runner-up in this year's Coach of the Year. Previous winner in seasons 18 and 19. Melbourne lead by 1. Inside 90 seconds before quarter time. Dellavedova turns and scores.
He's having a nice first quarter. Look good, feel good, play good. He's got the fresh cut. The teeth are feeling all pretty good after last week. And he's off to a fast start.
Bubba got a hand on that and forced it onto the hand of Clint Steindl. Melbourne get the ball back.
You mentioned Liam Bubba last season in the finals. Had 15 points in the second game against Perth over in RSC Arena, but he's a guy that if there's any flat spots in the energy from Melbourne United, Dean Vickerman's going to throw him out there. The fans get involved. They love what he does, and he makes plays like that.
Tasmania haven't made a field goal since Jack McVeigh sat down. Their last field goal was at 5:44 remaining. Bubba from outside.
Well, that's big. The three-point shooting from Melbourne in this fourth quarter. That's their fourth triple of the term.
Daniel no good. 5-second differential between game and shot clock. Dellavedova guarded by McIntosh.
Dean Vickerman yelling a long one, trying to get that shot clock right down.
Goes to work. It's the one leg. It's time for Tasmania. 5 seconds. McIntosh from outside, a rainmaker. Doesn't go. At quarter time at John Cain Arena, it's the defending champions who lead 20-15 in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Great to have your company for the opening night of the NBL22 final series at John Cain Arena. Melbourne United playing host to the Tasmania JackJumpers, and Melbourne only made 4 threes in the entire game last week against Tassie. They've got 4 in the opening quarter, and they lead it by 5, 20-15. So we get courtside to Jock Landale. Jock, how did you see the opening quarter?
Look, there's a lot of guard play right now. I'd like to see it go into the bigs a little more. I think Tassie's been on the rim a lot, which is working well for them, and they're playing like they've got nothing to lose. But Melbourne's been kind of shooting it from outside a bit, and whilst it's working, I think we need to see Joe get a few more touches and let that ball go inside.
Well, Jock, you mentioned Joe, and we spoke about him pre-game. We thought they'd make him a bit more of a focus in that first quarter. What do you think Dean has said in this quarter time? He had no touches, no shots in that first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to make it a focal point in this second. He's getting a trap from the baseline, which is tough to play through. But I think if they can continue to find ways to get him deep seals, maybe from high lows or something like that, he should be right. But they definitely need to get him involved in this second quarter here.
Thank you, John. Jared Weeks into the game to start the second quarter. His last 6 games against Melbourne have been scoreless. McDaniel with a foot inside the line. This is everything.
I want to talk about Joe Lyle-Chul in the offensive end. What I love from Kyle McIntosh, his first possession, he just took it at Joe Lyle-Chul. Big fella will be knowing that he's struggling to get a look with the way they're trying to defend him on the offensive end. McIntosh not letting him have any breaks. He's going to go at him. Yes, Joe blocked it, but this is a chance to really try and win a little bit of an early mind battle against one of the MVP finalists.
Down to Matty Garrick. Matty, you were taking a listen to Scott Roth at quarter time.
Yes, I was, and basically the first message that he said to his team was they're just too slack in their turnovers. They've had too many early turnovers and just sloppy play. So he wants them to move the ball to the second side. Off the back of what Jock said, they're best when they're attacking the ring, either getting to the foul line or getting those cheapies under the basket. And then in defense, he just preached to shut it down one stop at a time.
Nice finish there from Bairstow. Thank you, Matty.
Yeah, it's a good point about the turnovers. Both teams, really 11 combined turnovers, some early nerves in that first quarter.
Lyle-Chul took it upstairs.
A little put back the possession before, got him on the board, and that's what he's going to do down low. See the substitutions ready to come in for Scott Roth.
Bairstow's pass, a little hard to handle for Steindl. Newly downhill. There's Barlow. Not that time either.
It's a great idea. Good read from Clint Steindl. Just a bit of a Yorker. Straight at the ankles.
Steindl's pass a little sloppy. Weeks had space to fire. Dellavedova put it out in front of Bubba, who went and got it. Doesn't finish. Lyle-Chul trying to clean up the mess. Too big, too tall, too strong.
Getting after it, Joe Lyle-Chul. He's telling Kyle McIntosh all about it. Great energy from the big fella to start this second quarter.
Yes, it was. He had a few things to say. Let's have a look at that dunk first. Spin moved. Bairstow tries to take the charge. This is what got him going. This is what fired him up. But he's getting on the glass. He's got 3 offensive rebounds, all in the last 60 seconds. Comes over the top of Bairstow, gets that one, puts a lid on it. The second time, just a little stat, extra stat, and then has a few words to say.
Look at that, the intensity from the All-NBL first teamer. Some great shots from our team behind the scenes as well. 26-17, it's a big move early in the second quarter, Liam.
Massive. The thing that jumps off the page there for me is the 17 points only for Tasmania. We know they're built on their defense, but Dean Vickerman said during the week, we don't feel like we've defended this team very well. You know, they've been the #1 team, defensive team all season long as far as efficiency, Melbourne United, but a couple of losses to the JackJumpers. Remember, they had that 36-point opening quarter back in round 10 when they beat Melbourne in this building. So to keep them to just 15 in the first term, 17 here, a couple of minutes into the second, Dean Vickerman would be happy with that.
In the 2 losses this season for Melbourne against Tasmania, they've given up 94 and 83. In round 10, 94, round 21, last weekend, 83. Across the season, Melbourne only give up 80 points a game.
On the flip side, Scott Roth would have just a calming timeout, no doubt, just to remind his guys what they're all about. Okay, that's the heat out of the first part of the game gone. Let's settle into what we do well.
Josh Adams back into the game. Jet is fouled.
We know the JackJumpers, they're going to rely a lot on their starters. You know, Josh Magette, Josh Adams, Jack McVeigh. United are going to keep rotating guys. They're going to try and keep everybody fresh. United were the only team this season not to have anyone average over 30 minutes per game. Closest they had was Golding with 28.5. So a lot of the load will come down to Adams, Magette, and McVeigh. That's how they've been successful all year long with that model. When everyone else chips in, plays their role, star in your role, that's been the story of the JackJumper success.
Adams got it.
Well, that's where his role lies. Josh Adams, they need that electric punch at the offensive end, and when he's knocking it in from long range, he becomes tough to guard.
There's 5 points on 2 of 5. Brings it back to a 7-point deficit. Golding scoreless from a couple of attempts in the first quarter. Shot clock's down to 4. Golding up top. This time it drops. His first bucket of the night, and it's out to 10. Midway through this second quarter, nice take, McDaniel, straight at Golding. Golding to respond at the other end. Jack White climbs high and is fouled.
Well, Jack White is a bit of an X factor in this series for me. We've spoken about the 2 wins that the JackJumpers have had over Melbourne. So they've had a bit of success over the team that finished top of the table. So Chris Golding gets himself on the board a couple of possessions ago. They haven't beaten a Melbourne United with Jack White in the lineup yet. He's just an out-and-out winner, makes winning plays, and you can see they're winning an extra possession for his team.
Averaged 9.5 points a game and 6 rebounds last year, and the same this season. The difference is he's coming back from an Achilles and he's come back in tremendous style. He once again part of Melbourne's starting lineup. Bubba off target. Melbourne 5 of 14 from outside. Tasmania just 1 of 6. Krislovic had Magette, who got away from Illy and finishes.
Trying to get a little bit of contact, Josh Magette. He's done that really well all season long. He knows that players are going to fight over him on the defensive end. If he just puts the brakes on, normally someone runs into him. He'll give and go. And while Chul and Shea Ali doesn't get to go.
Magette pulling up. This is out. 29-23 at John Cain Arena. Golding feeds Luala Chul. He's fired up in this second quarter. That doesn't go. There's Jack White doing Jack White things. Illy back through Luala Chul. This time guarded by Krislovic.
Getting him plenty of looks down low now in this second quarter. As you mentioned, didn't have a field goal attempted in the first. He's already got 6 points, 5 rebounds in this second.
Magette, long way from the cup. Shot clock at 7. Had McVeigh, little floater with the left hand. Fell back into the waiting arms. No good that time. And then a foul for the JackJumpers. Down to Matty courtside.
We saw Chris Golding getting himself on the board there. We know how dangerous he is from the three-point line. We can't have him lining him up if we're the JackJumpers. So we saw straight away Scott Roth turning to the bench and getting Matt Kenyon on to put the clamps on Golding to make sure he doesn't go off in this quarter.
Great pick up, Matty.
Done well to steady the ship here a little bit, the JackJumpers. And a lot of the run for Melbourne United was when McVeigh, Adams and Magette were all on the pine. Not sure how often we're going to see that across the course of this series. They're the 3 most consistent contributors.
There's Kenyon, as Matty said, trying to chase Chris Golding around. Whistled for his first.
I found it's gone on Krislovic, just the old veteran little bump of the cutter.
Illy from the baseline. Relocates out onto the perimeter. Drives into the lane. Wanted a foul. Finishes, and he has 8 points on 3 of 4. (31-23). Barlow reaching in his whistle.
He's been really good for him. The offensive end, Jack McVeigh, he's got no fear. Neither does Shea Hilly, just quietly. Super aggressive to start this one. A couple of hits from long range, getting to the rim. And McVeigh down the other end, looking to make plays. That was the foul on Barlow.
Kenyon in the corner, guarded by Golding. Late in the clock once more for Tasmania. Puts the ball on the floor. Nice drive. That's a couple of times in recent trips down the floor, Pete, that they've had success, Tasmania, taking it at Golding.
Well, he's only hit the 1-3, but you know you're going to try and guide him on that end, get him a couple of fouls called. And they'll take any offense they can get out of Matt Kenyon. He's out there to be defense, to be a menace, be a pest at Chris Golding. As you mentioned, Liam, it's not just his job for this series. Sam McDaniel's going to come in, they're just going to rotate, trying to guard him. And Matt Kenyon on the other end, that's what you do. Don't let an offensive weapon like Chris Golding get into a groove by making him accountable on that end. Make him keep moving, keeping his head on a swivel, and if he's not paying attention, go at him.
21 games with Brisbane before a knee injury. Matt Kenyon was out of the league. He was given an opportunity by Tasmania. He's absolutely made the most of it. There's a contract for next season as well. Another one of their great stories. Hook body, puts it back in.
Well, they did a lot of the job there. The Jack Jumpers making life very tough for Chris Golding. Switching, fighting through and contesting, but they didn't block out Hook Porteous. On the other end, Josh Adams right to the cup.
That's the Tasmania contingent at John Cain Arena. They're passionate. Shout out to all the Jack Jumpers fans watching.
Spirit of Tasmania, you reckon, on the way over?
Oh, surely.
Sure. Caleb Agata soars through the air. 35-26. Every time that Tasmania seem to be getting closer, Melbourne push them back out. McVeigh, start in that first quarter. He's into double figures now, Jack McVeigh. Has 11 points and is the game's leading scorer.
He's keeping them in it in a lot of ways, helping to tick the scoreboard over. And they were down 10. As you say, Jack, Melbourne have threatened to blow this out into the teens a couple of times. Straight line drive from Agata as he got past Josh Adams, just got his feet tangled there. And it opened the lane. The help was late from the Jack Jumpers, didn't arrive. Agata got all over the rim.
35-29. Melbourne United leading in game 1 of the semi-final series. We head to Tasmania in a couple of days' time for game 2 as we jump inside the Jack Jumpers huddle with Scott Roth.
Watch the up screen out of here, on this corner out of here. Get back to square. You got to guard him. Get one pressure on this. Finish this quarter out. Good smart 2 minutes here, all right? We're going to go 4 away. Your ball. We're pinning, we're pinning. J.A., you're over in between the 2 bigs. Corner. You're next. Ghost. You're next. And roll. All right? Last one. Jack's first, you're second. All right? Together. 1, 2, 3 together. Finish the quarter. Come on.
Those big 2.5 minutes here. Certainly, Jack McVeigh is keeping Jack Jumpers around 11 points. 4 of 6. He's knocked down both his threes.
Big 2.5 minutes for Tasmania, headed into half-time.
Well, it is, and to be able to just grind it out, to really slow it down, grind it out, and make Melbourne United have to work, because, as we mentioned, they're going to keep rotating bodies, trying to keep their energy high, the fresh legs. But some of the players on the Jack Jumpers are just too important.
Agata, another offensive rebound. That's number 9, and puts it back in.
Yeah, those offensive rebounds are killing Tasmania. As we said earlier, got to win the possession game in the playoffs. Limit your turnovers and take care of the defensive glass.
Second best team on the O glass this season, Melbourne United. It's paying dividends for them in this first half. Adams late in the clock, guarded by Dellavedova. Forced into a really tough shot as McIntosh picks up his second. They're clamping down.
That's just elite individual one-on-one defense from Matthew Dellavedova. Named to the All-NBL second team last night, and that was an example of why the coaches and captains around the league voted for him, recognized the impact he has. He's the floor general for Melbourne United, but particularly at the defensive end of the floor.
He has the best plus-minus in the game right now, Matthew Dellavedova. Plus 10, although that's not going to help. Adams with the steal and the jam.
Well, nice little gift there for Josh Adams. He's up to 9 points, 4 of 8 from the field.
It's Tasmania back to 6. The biggest lead in the game so far has been 10.
Take it how you can. You mentioned a big 2.5 minutes. A good little steal, good read, shooting the gaps, and Josh Adams heading upstairs. Doesn't matter how you do it, just every time Melbourne United might look like they're trying to get on a bit of a run, lift the energy, if they can find an answer every single time throughout the course of 40 minutes just to hang around, that's what they have to do.
His first season here in the Hungry Jacks NBL, Caleb Agata arrived as a starter and coming off the bench. We were talking about plus-minuses before. Second in the competition across the entire season, Caleb Agata, in the plus-minus stat.
Yeah, his offense has come and gone throughout the year, but he's been really important to what they do. He's a tough, rugged defender, plays hard every possession, and that last game of the season down in Tassie was great for his confidence, and you can see he's been aggressive here in this first half.
22 points when they played last weekend. The Jet fouled while shooting the 3-ball.
That's what we mentioned. That's what Josh Bridgette's done all season long, but especially against the defense of Melbourne United. The way that Tones and I enjoying game one, but the way that Agata, Bubba, Illy, Delhi, they fight over the screen. They never give up. He's going to get a lot of these by the way he reads the game. He knows they're fighting over the screen. He's just going to stop, let them run into him, pick up a foul.
And the key part of that happens early in that action. If he can get his shoulder to the screener's shoulder and he can keep Illy and Delhi from slipping into that gap, then he gets them on his back.
Nathan Buckley in the crowd, champion of the Collingwood Football Club, their former coach. Looks a lot more chilled, I should say, than this time last year.
A little bit more relaxed,
yeah.
isn't he?
Yeah.
Taking it in from Celebrity Row.
Tomorrow night, we turn our attention to the Freeway Series. Illawarra play host to Sydney in game one.
Can't wait for that series. There's going to be some fireworks in that.
It's back to a 5-point game. A minute remaining before the main break. Dellavedova has 7 points. Golding turn the corner. Back out for Delhi. Barely drew iron.
Good team defense, good help. Matt Kenyon got screened so well by Agata, but he screamed at McIntosh to help him out.
Luala blocks the shot. Now Agata off to the races. Got a finals wedgie.
Underneath the hoop wedgie.
Those are very low wedgie.
They're rare wedgies. How many times can we say wedgie?
You keep adding to it.
No more wedges. What a block from Joe Luala-Chul. He is fired up. McIntosh trying to go at him. 2 blocks now for JLA.
Off the inbound, Golding. That was tough. Dellavedova was tougher though, kept it alive. Luala-Chul, look out!
Strong attack on the rim. Scott Roth rolls his eyes. Doing everything they can to keep Joe Luala-Chul quiet. Little shot fake. Straight past the defense and all over the rim.
Scoreless in the opening quarter, has 8 points in the game now. 5 rebounds and a couple of blocks to go with it. McIntosh ran into the paint. And is going to get himself on the free throw line. Melbourne a little unhappy with that.
Stayed aggressive, Mikhail McIntosh, all 4 from the field. At one point of the line. Got Joey Wild-Chua to bite on that 3. And then you see there, Jack White, his hands just come down as the contact's made from McIntosh, which made it an easy call in the end. I say easy call, but we're going to get a coach's challenge from Dean Vickerman. He was there with his body. I think the contact from McIntosh just makes his arms come down a little bit. He was definitely straight up initially.
Yeah, with the initial contact, he's definitely vertical. But the officials clearly decided there that's a no call. Wasn't enough contact as McIntosh stepped to his left at the last moment to bring about a charge call. So they're saying in that moment, play on. And then Jack White picks up the personal by dropping his arms.
False alarm on the coach's challenge.
Well, they might have had a little look at the replay. If that's what happened, maybe they thought about it. But it wouldn't have been overturned, as you can see. His hands come down and did it exceptionally well the first half. That's a good effort from McIntosh to stay physical.
You got it. Pin down this way. Shilly ends up getting you back to this spot. Nelly's curling this one. Joe's on this one. All right. Hey. Handle the pressure down there. Make sure we get into it fairly quickly. All right. And then late clock. They got fouls. Make sure we challenge them. Don't live with this contested 3 right now.
Love that message from Dean Vickerman. Make sure you guys are aware of the foul count. Tassie over the limit. Final play here of the second quarter. Late in the clock. Get on the attack. Get on the front foot. They've hoisted it from long range. 16 3-point attempts in this first half. Vickerman wants them on the front foot.
Free throws for Mikhail McIntosh. Had 29 imports play in the Hungry Jacks NBL this season. Mikhail McIntosh, the only one not to start at any stage this season.
Well, he's a good story, really, because he was close to gone midway through the year. Let's not beat around the bush, but Scott Roth stuck with him. Found his niche as an impact guy off the bench and has played it well in the back half of the season.
It's been pivotal in the way they turned their season around. Went on the run they did, especially when Will Magnay went out. Filled a big role.
Last play of the opening half. White. Down to Wild-Chua. Here's Illy. Baseline, but the buzzer beats him. 41-36 at halftime in semi-final number 1. The lead was 5 at quarter time, and that's where we are right now.
Well, they've hung tough, the JackJumpers. This is what they've done all year. Just stayed in touch. They stayed in touch at the finals, and now they're staying in touch in this first half.
Here's Jenny.
Chris, we know that you guys have some scoring power offensively, but defensively you held them to 15 points. Got to be happy with that in the first half.
I mean, yeah, but they're getting to the foul line. Every possession, they're at the foul line, and I think we're playing pretty good D, so we've got to make adjustments. Like, yeah, I feel like we should be getting foul to the foul line as well. Probably not aggressive enough at the rim. We got to do that. That's on us.
JLA had 8 points in that second. How do you get him some more touches in the second half?
Yeah, just keep being aware of how big and his presence and how commanding he can be. So we got to keep looking for him, because then the defense shrinks down.
Good luck in the second half, mate.
Here with Jack McVeigh. Now, Jack, you can definitely feel the defensive pressure from your Melbourne United finals. Didn't seem to worry you in the first half. What was your mindset coming into the game?
Nah, just come out, do what I do, have fun, enjoy the moment. Like, we've been working hard all year, and it's just another game. Try and treat it like that.
Now, we know that finals at any point, the tables can turn. You're 5 down here. What do you have to do to change in the second half to bring back this lead?
They're showing us how physical they can be. They're crashing the O-boards hard, so we've got to take care of that and play defense. 41's too many.
Good luck in the second half.
Thanks.
They're hanging around at the moment, Tasmania. They trail by 5 at half-time. Semi-final number 1 at John Cain Arena. We're going to pull it all apart on the other side of this in the half-time show. You're watching the final series in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Tough time at John Cain Arena. Melbourne leading 41-36. It's a 5-point lead, just as it was at quarter time. There were stages, Liam Santamaria, in this first half where Melbourne got the lead out to double figures. It looked as though they were going to push ahead, but Tasmania, as they've done all season long, just have this knack of hanging around.
Yeah, they've just come up with the answer each and every time. That was a tight tussle, that second quarter. The margin was never less than 5 or more than 10 at any stage. And as you say, that Melbourne threatened to blow it out a couple of times. Joe Luala big in that second quarter. Scoreless in the opening term. And those plays, the offensive rebounds, they've been a problem for Tasmania as they've kept the tempo of the game at a good place. They've kept it in the half court for the most part, but they've given up 10 offensive rebounds in that first half. Josh Adams, they need a little bit more of that from him in the second half. Jack McVeigh was terrific as he ticked the scoreboard over for Tassie, but this was a big play, an emotional play for Melbourne United. There you see the leading scorers, scoring spread for Melbourne United. Nobody in double figures. Jack McVeigh leading the way for Tasmania. He's got 11, but Only 36 on the board for the JackJumpers. Melbourne would be happy with that defensive effort.
Here are some of the stats at halftime. You can see the shooting percentages. Not breathtaking from either team. Tassie only 8 3-point attempts in that opening half. It just feels at the moment, Liam, particularly the back end of the second quarter, just feels like every offensive possession for Tasmania is a tough one because of the defensive pressure that Melbourne are applying.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But, yeah, you heard Chris Golding talk about the free throw difference. That was probably a big difference maker in that first half. But the main thing is the rebounds. You know, if Tassie had have taken clear of the defensive glass, this thing would be all tied up, or maybe they'd have their nose in front.
Speaking of defence, Pete Hooley is in the analysis centre. And Pete, you've taken a pretty good look at both teams and how they're applying their defensive pressure in this first half.
Yeah, no doubt. Two of the best defensive teams in the competition. Let's have a look at some examples of that. So we've got Clint Steindl in the corner. He's a shooter. We're going to keep an eye on Udai Baba here, Delhi, and even Dave Barlow. So Udai Baba knows Clint Steindl, you've got to stay attached. He's going to fight over this dribble handoff from McIntosh. Watch Delhi use his body in the position to blow up the play once Baba fights over. And then Dave Barlow just to bail out the help at the end. So Baba fights over. Delhi's there for help. Barlow arrives on the catch. Contested three in the corner from Jared Weeks. They're going to live with that every day instead of Clint Steindl making a play. Here's the JackJumpers. This is what they do well. They're trying to make somebody else beat you. You've got Josh Adams, who's going to switch on to Chris Golding here. Now, the play comes here. Krislovic is on the wrong side. So really, this puts so much effort on Josh Adams to fight over this screen from Joe Luala-Chul. Otherwise, that's a three for Chris Golding. He fights over, he does all his work, blows the play up, gets the ball out of Chris Golding's hands. Excellent team defense. The only issue is you play great team defense for about 95% of the possession. Shot clock, 2.7 seconds. This man needs no time at all to get it up. Have a look at Josh Adams, slow with the hands to get up. Chris Golding knocks it down. 95% great defense, just got to arrive on the catch. This one we highlighted. Liam enjoyed this one. This is just two dogs on the defensive end, Caleb Agata and Delhi. Now look at the effort and the hustle one-on-one in these plays from these two. High screen, going to get underneath it, re-screen. He's going to get over the top, blows this play up. Well done from Hook Porty. And then watch Delhi's effort here. So he gets done here to be able to stop on a dime, knowing that Agata is going to be able to have a little bite on the cherry to help out. Everybody's locked in behind, and they just blow this play right up. Agata has a little bite. Delhi's there. What are you going to live with? That's a tough contested two from Josh Adams. That's what Melbourne United did all that half. JackJumpers need to find a way to put points on the board.
That's the tone of the second half, which is coming up very shortly. Pete, thank you very much. And as we head to the break, a reminder, tomorrow night, Sydney and Illawarra go head-to-head in a freeway series rivalry that has been red hot all season long. On the court, off the court, it's been physical. It's been spectacular every time that these two teams have got together. They're going to do it again. Tomorrow night, we start at the Wynn Entertainment Centre. A spot in the grand final on the line. Game one between the Sydney Kings and the Illawarra Hawks. You're watching game one of the semi-final series in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Third quarter not too far away from starting. Before we get there, let's hear from both coaches.
Scott, what's the improvement look like to you in the second half?
Well, I think we have to guard our yard a little bit better. The ball's been in the paint, and they've been driving us pretty well in there. We just got to get back to square and keep the ball in the paint. And we're just got to let our offense cook a little bit. We're getting a little anxious and a little sped up. That's because of them. It's playoff basketball. It's been fun. Yeah, we're ready to go.
You seem ready to go. Good luck in the second half.
I appreciate it.
Coach, what's to like about that first half from your team?
Yeah, I thought the defensive intensity up the floor and the way that we pressured them was pretty good. Like to not have them at the free throw line as much right now, but yeah, we're playing at a reasonable pace. Probably haven't shot as well as we'd like, but yeah.
How do you get the ball inside more? You know JLA can be such a factor. Is he going to be a presence in the second half?
Yeah, I thought he's done a great job with his second efforts, got on the boards. You know, when he faces up and really attacks, I thought he's been positive in the post.
Good luck in the second half.
41-36 at John Cain Arena. Interesting to hear Scott Roth talk about the pace of the game. Liam, was something that you highlighted at halftime as well.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a great job all year controlling the tempo. This guy in particular, Josh Majette, and they kept it in the half court for most of that first half. Score there from Krislovic. Nice touch on the floater. Got to stop Melbourne scoring in the first 8 seconds of the shot clock. They did a pretty good job of that in that first half.
Shayili starting tonight. Golding, 1 of 7 in the opening quarter. Stepping back. It's 1 of 8. There's Jack White. Got to try and keep him off the glass, Pete. Dellavedova, late in the clock. Cross-court pass was telegraphed, and Jack McVeigh was there. Couldn't get that 3 ball up. Adams can. Dellavedova kept Krislovic off the glass. Took it to the other end with the finish. Dellavedova up to 9 points to go with 4 rebounds and a couple of assists. Adams straight at Lawala-Chul. Couldn't finish, no foul. Here go Melbourne, quickening up the tempo again. Double comes for Lawala-Chul. White forced into a tough look. As we approach 2 minutes gone in this third quarter. McVeigh wants to go to work on Dellavedova. Not that time.
That's excellent defense in the block from Delhi.
Go back to Lawala-Chul. His size is a massive factor.
Oh, he's a threat as he runs that middle lane, but Jack McVeigh, when he gets it in the block, the scout is he wants to turn over his left shoulder, get to his right hand hook. So Delhi plays him on that side, forces him to spin the other way, get the miss. And then here, just a little eyebrow raise, a little eye contact, over the top. JLA to the free throw line.
That's why they teach all the bigs going through the ranks to keep the ball high when you get it. Because you bring it down, that's when Josh Majette might have a chance to whack it out. You keep it up, all he's going to do is hack at your elbows and you're going to go to the line.
65% free throw shooter this season. NBL 6th man of the year last season. Graduated in a big way this year. 3rd in the MVP voting, as we spoke about. All NBL first team. It's been a meteoric rise. 44-38. Game 1 of the semi-final series. Tasmania with the shot clock inside single figures. Turn to Krislovic from outside. Majette reels in the long rebound.
It was close to 3 seconds. I thought McVeigh had a pretty good seal. It was deep enough on Delhi where he could have just rose up to knock it down. And that's going to be out of bounds, just a bit sliding.
He should have got it.
Absolutely.
Josh Majette put him on ice down there, as you say. Had Delhi right on his back underneath the hoop. And that should have been an easy bucket at the cup.
And yes, Delhi defended him well. The possession Liam was talking about a minute ago, but that was off the block. That one was so deep that he could have just laid it up. Chris Golding gets to his spot, knocks it down. That's the anxiousness that Scott Roth was talking a little bit about on the offensive end. Maybe not trying to force it in there, worried about a potential turnover, but they're the easy potential points that you're going to have to try and get.
Scored the last 5 points in the game, Melbourne. In a game that's been tough to get runs going. This is a big one for them. That's an offensive foul. A blatant one, too, on Matt Kenyon. Melbourne really starting to dial up the defensive intensities. We get down to Jock Landale. They're starting to get the game on their terms, Jock.
Yeah, they are. But every time it seems Melbourne gets the game on their terms, I think Tassie turns around and does a great job of pulling it right back. They're getting a lot of good stuff from Jack McVeigh at the minute, and I think their guards are going to loosen up a little bit here soon. But if they can just continue to get downstairs, that would be great. And I think Melbourne's going to continue to do what they do and take care of business.
Jock, what are you seeing from your man, Chris Golding? Scored there, 5 points, 2 of 9 from the field.
Yeah, I think he needs to get some cleaner looks off. He's shooting a few ones that are a bit contested at the minute. If he can manage to find some cleaner looks, you know, we know Chris, he can get that, put that thing in the hole. So just continue to make sure they set good screens for him, get some off-ball action going for Chris, and I think that'll help United a lot.
Appreciate you, Jock. Thank you. Jack McVeigh, the leading scorer, with 11 points. Craig Bellamy, the coach of the Melbourne Storm, an honorary Jack Jumper for the night.
There's the Jack Jumpers front office in front of him, yes. Simon Brookhouse.
Wow, Chul, ultra aggressive since quarter time.
That's well defended there from Krislovic. And the best part about that is, yes, he's still going to rise up and get his shot off. Not to just get undisciplined and foul. That was really good from him. If he makes it, you didn't let him get deep enough, so it's a tough make.
Nice hands from Illy. Oh, White trying to get the Wala Chul involved. It's knocked out of bounds.
What I like about that from Shea Illy, he's guarding Matt Kenyon. Not a huge threat at the offensive end.
Tanasi Kokonakis in the crowd tonight as well.
All the stars are out.
Big names in the house tonight. Shea Illy taking the opportunity to attack the ball, double the ball, try to blow up that action. A little deflection. Melbourne take it the other way.
Big man getting to work and gets him to roll.
That's your point on that, Shea Illy. And yes, they're going to have the scout of, as you said, of Matt Kenyon, but a lot of that isn't instructed. It's just in the back of Shea Illy's mind. That's what he's such a great defender, that he's just going to make those reads and back himself to make a play.
Krislovic at the foul line.
And there's a potential another one. Jack McVeigh has Delhi on his back deep enough where if he gets it, he's just going to be able to turn around and shoot. I think he's got to be getting that ball. Got 11 points, hasn't scored since half.
Scored the last 7 points in the game, Tasmania. And Scott Roth. Concerning times for his group. The Wala Chul might have just got a finger in the eye. Let's take another look here.
Josh Majette checking if his contact lens is in.
Scott Roth calls for time. Just this is a troubling moment here for the Jack Jumpers. Down by 10. Things starting to go the other way right now.
Just snap the ball to our 5-man and go to the gaggle. We haven't done it. Just come down and throw it to him. And be done with all this. 79 to the OKC. 77 to the OKC. Straight 7 snap. 7 push. Get the fuck out of the corner. All right? Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Together, 1, 2, 3, together. Come on.
Well, that's 77. That's their call for the double drag screen. So 2 ball screens for Josh Majette. Goes into a dribble handoff. They get it back to Majette for middle pick and roll. He's just trying to get a little bit of rhythm, a little bit of ball movement and player movement into their offense. They're getting a little bogged down right now.
Talk about potential changes or adjustments to make going forward in game 2 and potentially game 3. A lot of them. He's going to be on the offensive end of how to get easier looks. it's going to be hard to do against Melbourne United's defence, but a lot of them setting screens. Where can they see the success? Certain matchups to hunt and go at. And they're going to look back at the film and see those possessions they missed to Jack McVeigh and thinking, look, he's the one who's on fire for us. Why are we not getting him involved?
Numbers against Josh Adams. He doesn't mind. Hookporty says, no, sir.
We may have a puncher in that ball.
And then he runs the lane, rewarded at the other end with a dunk.
The elite talent of Ariel Hookporty on display. Volleyball spike of a block down one end. And a thunderous finish down the other.
50-38. Biggest lead of the game for Melbourne right now. There's Hookporty with the rebound. Momentum with the home team. The next star with his back to the basket. Back up top for Bubba. Shot clock at 7. Dellavedova bumped by Chris Lee.
Well, let's have another look at this from Hookporty. Just times it perfectly, punches the ball. Probably put a puncher in it. Sizes it up, and then just puts the Jets on. Eyes always on Delhi, running down the floor. Got one of those in pre-season. I haven't seen it again until now, but as soon as his job's done on one end, the way he runs the lane is exceptional.
He'll learn, Pete, the X's and O's and all that sort of stuff, but there's a competitor within this young man that you can't teach.
Well, there is, and just as we mentioned, his improvement throughout the whole year under the system with Dean Vickerman, and the fact that he's coming back for another season, you'd think that there might be a potential if Joe Larchul moves on to bigger and better things. Could be in a starting role.
You'd love to see it.
That's going to be an offensive foul. Easy call. Mason Peatling not quite set.
4:16 to play in the third quarter. Let's get to Matty courtside.
Now, just looking at another rotation from Scott Roth. We talked earlier about him putting Kenyon on Gooding as soon as he got hot on the three-point line. He just put McIntosh back into the game. He hasn't seen much today because he's been on 3 fouls, but he's gone directly onto Hookporty, who just got it done both ends of the floor and is now presenting as a threat for the JackJumpers.
10 minutes in the game. Matty, Mikhail McIntosh, averaging 17 across the season. McVeigh picks up his dribble.
This is what we've been talking about with Melbourne United all year. Their ability to crank things up defensively and squeeze the life out of your execution. Tasmania have been so good moving the ball, getting through their stuff. And right now, finding everything really tough.
McVeigh can't finish off. They've only scored 2 points in this third quarter. Bubba, athletic finish. It's getting away from the JackJumpers.
Well, they are. But you mentioned that they are clamping down on the defense, man. Every single shot is a tough one.
Every catch, every cut.
Steindl.
Even that is a tough make. Porty's second effort where he got bumped off. He was guarding McIntosh. He left to go to Clint Steindl just to contest it. Wall up, make that a tougher shot for Clint Steindl.
Breaks a run of 11 straight points for Melbourne off the back of that bucket from Steindl. Josh Magette didn't think that was off him. We've managed to get through pretty much the entire season with Josh Magette not thinking that anything ever came off his hand.
That's the majority of players.
He's been a fantastic signing for Tasmania. Not too pleased with that one, though. From the inbound. Larchul. A little uncomfortable.
I have an illegal screen on Jay. So do you have him grabbing him first?
I had him grab him
Okay,
first.
no problem. All good.
White 30. Oh, bonus.
So that was originally between the referees having a conversation saying it was going to be an illegal screen on Larchul. The referee came across and said that he saw the hand of Sam McDaniel, just the left arm, pull him down and into it. So that's why the referee, that's why communicate, coming together.
Yeah, it's a good job talking it through from the officials. McDaniel, if he hadn't wrapped his arm around him, he would have got the call. Joe Larchul was still moving, but the initial contact came from McDaniel.
2.
He picks up the foul.
Well spoken through because One referee couldn't see. The other one said, look, I saw that left arm come across. Sends Joe Wild through the line. Has he in the bonus?
Just letting everyone know about it as well. "13 points, 5 rebounds for Joe Luala-Chul. There's the quarter-by-quarter breakdowns, and there's the offensive struggles, Pete, for Tassie in this third quarter.
Well, we've highlighted all season long defense of United, and I think a lot of people expected it to go up another level in the finals, and it has done just that. But just to see, that's just a little bit too overzealous, but for Bubba to arrive on the catch and contest that after fighting through the screens. Nick Vickerman just talking to someone on the bench, thinking about, do we challenge? It looked pretty clear cut. Just fell underneath him at the last second. But they're playing the way that they want, as you said, Liam. The people they want to disrupt on every catch, they're arriving on the catch. They're being physical. Those that may be playing a step off, they're helping. They're jumping in lanes. You talk about the Shea Ely one where he left Matt Kenyon for a little bit.
Here we go, guys. Here we go. Come on, fellas.
And Steindl. Averaging 9.5 points a game. It's the best of any regular season for Clint Steindl. As the JackJumpers captain has really stepped up, led from the front all season long.
Yeah, he's been huge for him, on and off the floor. And his punch off the bench is key. They run so much action for him, like that last play when he's out there on the floor. And he's got all that championship and finals experience, his 5th straight year in the playoffs.
Only 1 field goal attempt. Is there a way to get him more involved in this one?
Well, that'll be a focus for him in his last 3 minutes of this third quarter. They'll be running him off plenty of those staggered screens off the ball and trying to get him some more looks.
I don't mind this from Tasmania, just throwing a bit of pressure up the floor, not necessarily to look for a steal against Melbourne United, but to make them start their offense late. They started this possession with 16 seconds to go on the shot clock, and they forced that from Caleb Agati. Yes, he scores, but that's a tough bucket. You've thrown a different look at them. If they have to rely on that for the next 12.5 minutes, could be in for some exciting finish.
Agata, the second Melbourne player, into double figures and the 3rd in the game. Luala-Chul, the leading scorer, with 13. McIntosh pulling up. Melbourne will live with that.
Oh, man, they're better than that, the JackJumpers. He needs to get on the attack.
Agata travels. 13-point lead. Biggest lead in the game has been 14. Unfortunately for Tassie, the numbers don't lie when it comes to final quarters for them as well. They are dead last in the competition in 4th quarter points. They're going to have to buck that trend to lock away game 1 ahead of Saturday night. Sold out MyState Bank Arena for game 2 in Tasmania.
It's a good look for Sam McDaniel. That's where he likes to operate in the mid-range. Just got to knock that one down. Trying to steady this ship once again, going into 3-quarter time.
Peatling blocked.
Oh my.
Clint Steindl.
Clint Steindl with a straight vert. Seen him get a couple of dunks this season, but off the standing start.
That's a big-time defensive play. They need those kind of plays right now to just stay in this thing. Down the other end, Melbourne keeping the ball out of the hands of the key guys. Keeping it out of Josh Majet's hand, out of Clint Steindl's hands. Making McIntosh and McDaniel have to make plays.
See Mason Peatling there now with 4 fouls. That's why we haven't seen a lot of him tonight. Josh Adams, 4 of 11 from the field. Agata, handoff for Luala-Chul.
Well, that 2 guys down behind play did the JackJumpers. Joe Luala-Chul, after no field goal attempts in the first quarter, leads all scorers with 15 points. And as you mentioned, Liam, keeping it out of the guys' hands they don't want. Josh Majet's only had 3 field goals attempted in this game. Just doing it by committee, and it's not just one guy, as you mentioned. Dellavedova, Garda, Bubba, Shea Illy. Everyone's rotating through. There's no breath for Josh Magette or Josh Adams tonight.
And he's the head of the snake, Josh Magette. 5 points, 3 assists. As you say, not many field goal attempts. They're making his second catch in the offensive set really tough to get.
And this is what I spoke about at the start. This is the defensive death lineup from Melbourne United they've got out there. Jack White, Joe Lualchil anchoring down low. Shot blockers like that. You got Shea Illy, Agata, Bubba, and then you can exchange one of those with Delhi. Good luck scoring.
They can't score. It's impossible to score out there at the moment. A couple of seconds on the shot clock for them.
Green's fine. Green is fine. 51.
The foul's going to be called on Illy.
Green's fine, then you grab him.
Which gives Melbourne a fresh 14 to work with. Biggest lead in the game right now. In the shadows of three-quarter time. It's been a big move by the defending champions. McIntosh in the paint against Lualchil. Doesn't get it to go.
All of 7 now for McIntosh. What a battle against JLA. Got to his spot, just didn't finish. Just Caleb Agata just bullies. And that's going to be a delay of game warning.
They already had one.
That's going to be a tech.
Black 7, technical, 1 in possession.
Delay of game from earlier. Number 2 results in a technical foul.
Just flexing a bit of muscle in this third quarter.
Let's get down to Jenny Screen, courtside.
I know the scoring power from Melbourne United normally comes from the likes of Chris Goulding, but I've got to talk to you about the likes of Hokporty and obviously Agata. I think their injection in this third quarter has absolutely been immense, and the reason why we're seeing the momentum swing, you can see Melbourne United just showing their experience right now. But gentlemen, I've got a question for you. How important is it to win game 1, just from a psychological point of view?
Well, it's massive, Jen, as you know. I mean, there's the psychology of it, but there's also just the numbers. 26 of the past 28 NBL final series have been claimed by the team who took victory in game 1. So it's not impossible to fight back, but it's very, very tough to do.
Steindl, shot clock at 6. He's short. Agata on the move, late in the third quarter, finishes off with a left hand. He's had a night. Big third quarter from Melbourne United. And it's a massive lead that they take into three-quarter time now. 62-43 on their home floor. The fourth quarter's coming up next in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Three-quarter time in semi-final number 1, game 1 at John Cain Arena. Melbourne United dominate that third quarter, 21-7. Made life almost impossible for the JackJumpers.
Just completely cranked up their defense. Melbourne United kept Tassie to 2 of 16 from the field and their lowest scoring quarter in their last 25 games.
It's a good start. The JackJumpers there. The Jet forcing the turnover, but did they what? They absolutely locked up on the defensive end.
The Jet, amongst others, need to try and get going, and they need to do it quickly. Here's Adams.
And this is what we spoke about, this defensive death lineup. They had everybody was switching to help each other out. Joe Lawala-Chul was on an island against one of the guards. Everybody loaded up behind him to help. And then just when you see there, it might look like Bubba's been beat. Shea Ili puts his body on the line. Jack White is in there as well.
The thing is, you look at this lineup, you could throw Daly into that mix.
Absolutely.
Happily. You could throw Hook Porty, 6th in the league in block shots. They've just got so much depth of talent at that end of the floor.
Tasmania 2 of 16 from the field in the third quarter. Only 7 points, 5 of them coming from Clint Steiner. Game 2, Saturday night in Tasmania. Game 3, if required, there's 2 more for Agata. It's Monday back at John Cain Arena. Caleb Agata now has 16 points. Daniel blocked. Joe Lawala-Chul, not that time. There's Bubba high off the window. It's party time at John Cain Arena.
That wasn't English, that was Japanese. Off the glass right there. What a finish.
Well, he had the lob for Jack White as well. Didn't need it. Just a block from Lawala-Chul. He's got 3 of them on the night. Then they're out on the break. Take your pick.
McIntosh, 0 of 7 from the field. It's a nice move baseline and nice touch with the left hand.
And that's what he needs to do. Put it on the deck, attack the rim, use his physicality. Last time he did that, he didn't finish, but it's better than hoisting from long range. And there, called for the foul on Joe Lawala-Chul. Just bodying up at the defensive end.
Let's get down to Matty Garrett, courtside.
Listening to Scott Roth at three-quarter time there, he said that he wanted his team to have more movement. They wanted to go back to that high double on-ball screen. There's too much one-on-one happening at the moment, and he said that in the first 2 to 3 minutes, they can break back into the game, but they needed to solve the problems. And we just saw that their team didn't execute in the first couple of possessions, and this is why they're trailing at the moment. So they want to be able to get stops on defense and then see if they can move the ball and spacing on offense.
Well, we just see it a little bit. It's the anxiousness crossed with some frustration of how hard every single opportunity has been on this end, and just guys trying to break it open. That's a good look for Clint Steiner, who gets fouled 2nd time tonight from Caleb Agata. But that's just going to be building up, especially from the third quarter, of what can we do on the offensive end. And that's when you get the likes of Majet Adams just trying to make plays happen, and one-on-one against United's defense is just going to be too tough. And they caught him with the feet down low. Now, you see this a lot throughout a few players in the league of trying to foul them with potential feet follow-throughs. It's hard. The way that Clint Steiner was turning into it with his feet.
And he just gets a lot of elevation as well, Clint Steiner. You know, and Caleb Agata's got to get close enough so that he can get high enough on the contest to have an impact on Steiner's release, and he's slipping underneath.
And as the feet go out with that high elevation, we see it with Bryce Cotton. Doesn't kick the feet out, it's just the way that he gets into his shot. Chris Golding does it as well, especially curling off screens. That's the way that they shoot. It's not that they're kicking their legs out, it's just the elevation, their rhythm. So you have to be extra cautious when trying to make that late contest, because that was a semi-good look. And one of the more open looks that Clint Steiner and the JackJumpers have had. You arrive just a second late. and you send him to the free throw line.
Couple of minutes played in the final quarter. Bubba from the corner. Takes the advantage of Josh Adams. Get a good look at him cutting to the basket this time. Always that presence though of Luala Chul, making life difficult.
It's a foul. Clint Steindl just bumping the cutter. We saw one of them called early on. McIntosh drew a foul on Hook Porty.
The JackJumpers have been doing this all season. Look on the left of your screen, the little bump from Steindl. They call it an hello. They chart them amongst their group. They want 25 hellos over the course of the game. Bumps, bruises. We talk, you know, coaches always talk about make them feel us. Well, Scott Ross tells his group, say hello every time down the floor when you get an opportunity.
Love it.
Get in their way and greet them down the floor.
Thank you, Adele. Illy. Golding gave it up. Luala Chul saw that he was guarded by Majet. Over the top, Jack White.
He hasn't featured too heavily on the offensive end tonight, Jack White, but his defense has been enormous. 7 rebounds, 8 rebounds. He's got 5 O-boards.
Melbourne firmly in control of game 1 now. It's a 20-point lead. Majet just cannot get a 3-ball away. This work from McIntosh finds McVeigh underneath. Bit to work on ahead of Saturday for Tasmania. Golding. Pass, a little sloppy. Just deep from Steindl. The energy that comes with it. Adams didn't accept the lob, just took the easy 2 instead, and Dean Vickerman has called a timeout. Just wants to put a little tap on the nose to Melbourne United. 68-52. Getting a look at that last turnover.
That was good defense. Steindl, yes, fronting the post. But also Mikhail McIntosh switched on to Chris Golding. Just did what he had to do. Crawled in, took away the 3-point look. Forced him to go in a different direction. And JackJumpers cash in down the other end. Still the margin really, really big. But you like the way they're fighting right now, not letting it blow out of proportion.
Leading scorer in the game, Caleb Agata with 16 points. A big night for him. Joe Luala Chul, 15 points and 7 rebounds for Tasmania. 13 points for Jack McVeigh. 11 for Josh Adams. The only 2 in double figures tonight for the visitors. Welcome back. Out of the Chemist Warehouse timeout. Melbourne leading 68-52, but JackJumpers have scored off their last 2 possessions and showing a bit of fight.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they picked up on the defensive intensity. Kyle McIntosh was one of those. But what this game has highlighted, huge 6.5 minutes left, especially going into game 2. Used to carry a little bit of momentum, anything you can scrape away. But it's highlighted missing Will Magnay down low. And because of that, you see with Melbourne United, their guards, they feel more comfortable to get up and in, to be disruptive, knowing that if they do get beat, someone has to score over Jack White or Joe Luala Chul or Hook Porty. So it gives more of a license to their guards to get up and in, to be aggressive, be on the front foot, dictating defensively, that if they do have a breakdown, someone's got their back in a big shot blocking force or a guy who walls up. That was Will Magnay.
Great to see that he's re-signed for next season. Unfortunately, Tasmania haven't had access to him for the last 8 weeks of the season. White from the corner.
The thing is, defensively, the JackJumpers haven't been too bad here. They got Melbourne less than 70, 6 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. They've had trouble on the defensive glass, giving up 15 offensive rebounds. Just their inability to handle the pressure of Melbourne's defense in this second half has been huge.
McIntosh forces it through over the top of Luala Chul. So how do you make those adjustments for game 2? Because you'd expect that defensive pressure will come again.
Oh, no doubt it will. Every single game from here on out. And there is Will Magnay. Nice little on top. Little fresh curls.
Curls get the girls, apparently.
But it's exactly going to be like that from Melbourne, Melbourne United. So again, you heard Skorov talk a little bit about where can we get some easy shots? Where can we get an easier look on offense? And a lot of it might be maybe they look back at this and say, we weren't physical enough setting good screens, setting really hard screens, legal screens to free them up. Where is our certain advantages on that end to go at? And as we mentioned, certain lineups, maybe there isn't one, so that's when you really have to grind it down to the last 6 to 7 seconds of the shot clock. Because they've got their really strong defensive lineup out there. You can't try and force anything early. Good block from McIntosh because they're just too well set up. It's going to be a real strong mindset game in game 2.
Nice block there from McIntosh. Down to Jenny.
Just adding to this conversation between you guys in studio, when they go back to the island, for me, it's more about the possession, the offensive boards, 15 to three-quarter time. As we see Golding with a nice little reverse layup, they can't give a team like the defending champions that many extra opportunities to score. They've already had 14 more shots, and that's just not going to happen in game 2, hopefully.
70 to 54. That'll be an offensive foul on McIntosh, and it'll be his 4th of the night.
And he's trying to do what Pete was talking about there, just get set stronger, harder screens to help get his guys open and create some open looks. But Jen's right, that the offensive boards have been a killer for the JackJumpers. 10 offensive rebounds in the first half. And it was a 5-point game. As we said at half-time, if they'd been stronger in that area, they might have even been in front. And then when Melbourne churned up their defense, things got completely out of hand.
Adams has certainly been a focus for Melbourne defensively.
That's going to count. Chris Golding just getting his hand into the net. Just fighting hard, Josh Adams. Chris Golding can't believe it, but that's a letter of law. Get your hand in there.
That's been a couple of good possessions here at both ends of the floor for the JackJumpers. 14 now, still close to 5 minutes left. Just a moment here. Dean Vickerman calling timeout. Wants to have a bit of a chat about he can sense this moment as well. Just a little question being asked by Tassie right now.
Chemist Warehouse timeout, 70 to 56. 4 3/4 minutes to play in game 1. Let's get courtside to Jock Landale, who's joining us tonight. Jock, just before we look ahead a little, what would, from your point of view, what's pleased you most about Melbourne tonight?
Well, I'll just say that the last thing I saw was Joe and Jack stuff up a defensive coverage, and as they come off the court, Joe got stuck right into Whitey and held him accountable, and I think that's something that we preached a lot last year, was holding each other accountable, because it's a lot different coming from a player than it is from a coach. When one of you guys you go into battle with holds you accountable, it has a different merit. So I think Melbourne's doing a great job of just making sure that they're staying on top of each other, and even though they're up 20 points, they're keeping the pressure on them. And credit to Tasmania, they are doing a great job right now, staying with it and continuing to fight. But I think Melbourne just has that next level in them where they hold each other accountable and continue to fight no matter what.
And Jock, we saw that in the third quarter. They just really tightened the screws on the defensive end. Every single player that hit the floor, we know the defense goes right through the roster, but for perhaps fans watching at home, this doesn't just happen against opposition. This is something that builds every day against each other. You versus Joe Lalachul last year. It's every day in practice, isn't it?
Mate, it is a bloody bloodbath that Melbourne United practices. And I've heard that Shilly and Delhi was an elite battle as well, so they got stuck into each other from day one, and you can tell, I mean, Shilly's taken a massive step this year, so we always preach that kind of stuff, that, you know, it's a cliche, but iron does sharpen iron, and I think that's what these boys do a great job of, is they just go at each other time and time again, even away from the court.
Jock, while we've got you, the other semi-final series tips off tomorrow. You're obviously your Boomers coach, Brian Goorjian, coaching the Hawks, Xavier Cooks and the Kings. What's your take on that series?
I really want to go with Illawarra just to piss Bogues off, because I know he's listening right now, but I do think that Sydney's going to get up on them. I think they've been on a bit of a tear recently, and I like what I've seen from them, but in saying that, that is going to be one heck of a battle. Those are two great teams who both could easily be in the finals against Melbourne. Not a non-biased opinion, but Melbourne.
Thank you, Jock.
Cheers, fellas.
I think he's allowed a little bit of bias.
There's a heavy amount of bias, let's be honest.
Did win a title with them.
Sydney Illawarra tomorrow night. It's going to be a war at the Wynn Entertainment Centre. in this war here, Melbourne have comfortably won the war in game 1.
As he are still fighting, which is, as we mentioned, is crucial. This is a series. Delhi gets to his spot. He's been really aggressive tonight, now into double figures. Got 11 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Does Delhi, plus 12 in his 24 minutes. But just making sure you finish it out with as many positives as possible. Now they're starting to see where they can have some success, where they're starting to get some looks, to be able to really go back to the film and get ready for game 2.
Jalawala-Chul sitting down right now. Ariel Hukporti back in. Jalawala-Chul's had 5 blocks in this game. First player to do that in a playoff game since Larry Davidson in 2010. And he had 7 for the Hawks against the Crocs. Records are made to be broken. Not quite there tonight, Joe, but very close.
And Shea Illy not letting Josh Majette breathe. Just 4 field goal attempts all night for Josh Majette. Averages 12.5 points a game. Just under 6 assists. Has got his 6 assists tonight, but they've been all over him.
Hukporti, 3 on the shot clock. Got to his favoured left hand. Did everything except finish. Jared Weeks still searching for his first points against Melbourne United in 6 straight games. McVeigh can hold his head high. He's got 15. He's their leading scorer.
He's done a good job. He was really good for him early. Jack McVeigh, 11 first half points. But they did miss him a couple of times. We pointed out in that third quarter, could have kept him rolling. And missed opportunities.
Delhi found by Adams. Josh Giddey watching on, last year's Rookie of the Year.
Oh, hello. Just a couple of chips for Josh Giddey.
There's Danny Minogue in the crowd as well. Doesn't miss many Melbourne games these days.
Enjoying ourselves, as they all are. 12-point game. And little off-season chips for Giddey.
I think you've earned that right.
I think so.
Dellavedova, when the game was hot early, Delhi was the one offensively for Melbourne that set the tone.
That's been what he's done all season long, really. Oh, boy.
Oh, dear.
Jeez. That was well shot. But he's been good. 11, 6, and 5, as you said, Jack. And the head of the snake at the defensive end. Oh, wow.
Oh.
What's going on there? Has he got his... He went to his left for that one?
Oh. I'm not sure what happened there with this. So he's definitely done something to
his hand.
His hand, whether maybe he got hit on the funny bone or something that his whole hand was numb, or, but it went with the left.
That's remarkable.
And probably midway through the release thought this isn't such a good idea. Dean Vickerman saying he's injured. It was definitely something with straight away with his hand to even attempt it.
Yeah, but Shea can't come back on. That's all. Someone else has to come back on. There was no clock run. Yeah, he just came off.
Stay there.
Now he can go off. That's fine.
Had a few teeth removed last week.
3 wisdom teeth.
Yeah, doesn't sound like much fun. Scott Roth watches on, some thinking for Tasmania ahead of game 2, some adjustments to make ahead of game 2. They're certainly not out of it. They've been a formidable team on their home floor this season. Adams open for 3.
Had to knock it down. Haven't get too many open looks all night long. Josh Adams, 16 points. He's fought really hard. Maybe that just gives him a little bit momentum going into game 2. This looked like it would have given me 20 plus. Single digits. So this has been a really, really strong fight back.
$16 for Adams. A minute remaining in game 1. Liam spoke about it earlier, the advantage of having the first game up your sleeve. The stats haven't lied when it's come to that in recent years. Garter is on a big night, not that time. Weeks early in the offense. There's Jack White. His 9th rebound.
That's going to send Chris Golding to the line, but can't be understated how important this last 2.5, 3 minutes has been for Tasmania. It's a series now, so yes, might go down 1-0, but it's better claw back the way they have and just maybe find a couple little pieces they can use to their advantage in game 2.
The sting was out a little bit. The pressure from Melbourne fell away a little bit in this 4th quarter, but nonetheless, they've outscored Melbourne 20-10 so far in this 4th term. That number will close a little here with Golding at the stripe, but they've defended the way they want to go about it. They've loosened up a little bit offensively. They'll be pointing to some of the things in this 4th term and looking at it saying that's how we want to come out of the gate on Saturday night.
How have they found a way, Liam? How have they been able to find points in the 4th?
I think they've just found some ways to release the pressure. You know, look at the pressure here from Caleb Agata up the floor. Jared Weeks helping out, just a little rub screen. They're screening a little bit better, getting on the attack. Oh, that's a 6th blocked shot from Luala Chul.
It's a volleyball spike.
Fans on their feet at John Cain Arena. This one is in the book. Melbourne United, top of the table at the end of the regular season. And they played like a team that finished the regular season top of the table. 74-63. They flexed their muscle in game 1. And they've blown Tasmania away. And they've blown them across the Tasman ahead of game 2.
Well, they have. Sets up a big game 2, though. Tasmania just held strong at the end. And more handshakes in the semi-final series. See each other in 48 hours.
Tasmania win the last quarter, but it was that 3rd quarter, 21-7, that set the whole thing up.
Championship quarter, and they played championship level defense in that term. Melbourne United, it's what they have built their success off this year, and it was on full display as they took control in that 3rd term.
So both teams will get in their respective huddles. Let's take a little look at this one. Scott Roth and Joe Luala Chul.
Just giving respect to each other. Both had fantastic regular seasons.
Luala Chul, a dominant force in this one. Slow to get started, but took over.
Here's Jenny.
Guys, I'm here with Foot Locker Player of the Game, JLA. You guys came out from the outset. Defense seemed to be the focus for you guys tonight.
Yeah, we really had to rectify what happened last week. We watched the film and it just wasn't us. So coming into this game, no matter what happened, we had to be a lot better defensively, and I think the team executed that today.
Speaking of you personally, you didn't get a touch in that 1st quarter. You were pretty dominant in the 2nd. You stayed patient.
Yeah.
It was nice to see you contribute in the 2nd half.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have a lot of weapons. So me being patient, getting other guys open, getting them into the game, I know I can get hot quick. So I really trust my instincts in that.
Nice to get game 1. Good luck on the island in game 2.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
15 points for Joe Luala Chul, 7 rebounds, 6 blocks, +9. Our Foot Locker Player of the Game.
Well, it was huge, but what I loved the most was just hearing what he said. He wasn't going to try and force anything. He didn't get a touch in the 1st quarter, but then came out and had a dominated game like that. That just speaks to the depth of Melbourne United, but the selflessness that everyone's now buying into. It's, yes, the regular season, we had all the guys stand out. He had a fantastic season. Now it's all about one thing. They want to go back-to-back. First tick of the little mini box.
Yep. See the intensity that Joe Luala Chul brought to this game. A few of the players getting across to the fans. Tones and I loving it. Melbourne United's #1 ticket holder. As we get down to Maddie Garrick.
I'm here with Caleb Agata. Congratulations on the game 1 win. At halftime, what was the key messages from Coach Vickerman?
Keep going. Last time we played them at home in Tasmania, we were in the same situation. We just didn't want to repeat and let them come back with energy and make it a game.
You were absolutely pivotal in that 2nd half, particularly the 3rd quarter. You and Hook Porty coming in, really changing the game. How'd you feel out there in that 3rd quarter?
I felt real good, man. I knew I had to do something to get us out the bus, over the bump. It's playoff basketball, so I'm just trying to be the best version of myself.
Now, game 2 on Saturday. What's the focus in the film sessions leading up to that game now?
Exact same thing. Come with the energy, throw the first punch, and let them know that we're here, we're serious.
Thank you. Congratulations on the first win. Good luck for the second game.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matty, and thank you, Caleb. A big night for him, 16 points. Hasn't really been able to find his spot offensively until last weekend, and he took that momentum into tonight.
He sure did. That's why last weekend was so big for him. They made a real focus last week of getting him touches, telling him to be aggressive. Comes out, equal game leading scorer. 7 of 11 from the field, highly efficient night, and he's just on the attack in transition in the half court. Really nice night from Agata.
Really nice night from Melbourne United as well. 74-63, they take game 1. We'll be back on the other side of this to wrap it up in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Melbourne United take game 1 in the semi-final series, 74-63 over the Tasmania JackJumpers. They won the final quarter, the visitors, but it was all about that third term, and Melbourne couldn't put a foot wrong when it mattered most.
Yeah, their defense especially. They led by 5 at half-time, and they led by 19 at three-quarter time when they just kept Tassie to 7 points, 2 of 16 from the field in that third term, and they started flexing their muscle a little bit. Plays like that. Hook Porty, down one end, down the other. Elite championship level play in that third term, and that's where they opened the game up. The JackJumpers fought, Pete. We wouldn't have expected anything less, but it got away from them in that third quarter.
Oh, it definitely did. They just locked up on every single catch, every possession. They had fresh bodies rotating through. Everyone who hit the court did the job on the defensive end. That's what Dean Bickman will be really happy about. And Tasmania, they fought really hard till the end, and that's what's going to be really crucial as they head towards game 2. Just trying to find certain adjustments that we tried to highlight throughout the game. Caleb Agata, JLA, they were enormous. JLA had his 6 blocks to go with it. Agata playing with confidence. Adams fought super hard for his 16 points. Through the contact, Jack McVeigh, as we said, was outstanding. Look at the rebounding count. 46 to 30 and 15 of those of the differential was offensive rebounds.
Yeah, massive. And look at the three-point shooting. Only 5 made triples for Melbourne. They had 4 of those in the first quarter. Remember, Jock Landau was saying they're hoisting it too much. Need to go inside a little bit. They did that, and they got the results.
So that's game 1 done and dusted. We turn our attention tomorrow night to game 1 in the other side of the series between Sydney and Illawarra. After that, we get to Saturday night between the JackJumpers and Melbourne United. Sold out crowd at MyState Bank Arena. The chance for Tasmania to hit back.
Oh, it's going to be loud in there. The fans are buzzing. Yes, you might be down 1-0, but anything can happen in a 3-game series. So that place will be pumping. They'll be ready to go, and they're going to have to really come out and fire.
And that's what we're talking about tomorrow night. Win Entertainment Centre, the venue, Illawarra, hosting the Sydney Kings.
Ooh, that's ready to just go off. We've seen some epic games between those two teams this season, and now it's the real deal. Now they're playing in the finals. Can't wait for tip-off.
Thanks so much for being with us tonight on behalf of the boys here at the desk, to Maddie and Jen and to Jock at the venue, and to everyone for being with us. Thanks for your company tonight. Can't wait to see you tomorrow night for Illawarra versus Sydney.
It's game time and I'm up 1. Name something I ain't done. Name a body that's my type. Air Jordan, I'll take flight. I'm next level, I'm franchise. I'm top tier, I'm that guy. I'm the man of the year. I'm a man with no fear. I think like I'm a shark. The way I move so sharp. I go hard for the team. That's how I play my part. I'm solid like the foundation. I'm dedicated to greatness. I always knew I would win. Now let the games begin.
This programme is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
Yeah, audio's good. Audio's good. I haven't got vision coming through to the Zoom. No, I think that's what he's working on. I think audio was good to us, to the hub. I don't know if it was good to the Zoom. Good to the truck. Good to the truck. He's running another lead, I think. I don't know. Yeah, you got audio? I haven't got vision, but. Hey. Yeah, good? It's a bit quiet, but.
After that, I would have thought.
I'll take this out of there.
brutal to tweet, I'm not going to lie.
Sam's going to the half team here, so.
Zero fouls. It still says 6 blocks. 6 blocks, 0 fouls. Even on 40 checks. Yeah, I went nuts when he had that block and he done. A guard is a guard 16 points. Kane in there too. Another double. Like, you look at this, you win by double digits and Chris is 3 offense. Covers it. Well, you just shoot it. That's what we're at.
Sorry, Coach, you're not ready yet. I told Caitlin. Alright. We'll come and get you. Alright. Thank you.
Hi Shane, yeah, I'm getting that. I don't hear any audio. There's a picture though. Because I've only got an NBL like just sign up on the thing.
Okay, good to go. Are you good to go? Yes or no?
Are you want to go, mate? Not yet, almost.
No, you're almost not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Close. Close. Still on the phone. He came down on the thing. Sorry.
Do I have to like start the call or some shit or?
No, of course you'll be already started.
Okay. I was gonna say I was. Okay, because yeah, all I have is an NBL just thing. Oh, I've lost signal now. Oh, I'm back. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Okay, 1 second. Oh, we've got none here. Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah. Are you hearing it? Nah.
go back to the track.
I can hear that coming through on the Zoom.
Oh, I just heard someone speak out of it. Yeah. Okay, but I still got no picture apart from an NBL thing. Like, we're seeing from them. No, I see, like, our picture, but I don't see anything on the other end. Yeah. Okay, yeah, well, that's pretty much it, and we've got the audios. Okay. Okay. No. Yeah, okay. So do I just stay here and wait and... Okay. Okay. Yeah, well, there is no audio yet.
Don't worry about the Zoom because if we've got vision and audio, I can run that in.
Yeah, you can?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, they're listening as well, so...
Yeah, I got that in under control. Don't worry.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Alright. Alright, thanks, Jane. Bye.
Yeah, you guys ready? Yeah. Try something.
Yeah. Where would you know for the ball then?
Yeah,
Oh, right.
Thanks for waiting, everybody. We've got Scott Roth and Jared Besto on their way shortly. Won't be long. As per usual, please use the raise hand function if you do have a question found at the bottom of your screen. And Jared, we'll start with you.
Hey Scott, Jared from Mercury, mate. Commiserations. You lost the third term 21-7. Is that sort of where you see the game won and lost?
Well, I mean, obviously that was a turning point, but their overall just physicality and, you know, they got some pit bulls in the backcourt that can really get after you, and us navigating some of that, and they got some really good athletes, and it's a hell of a team. And I'm really proud of our guys for not just imploding and letting go of it and fighting back in this game and making it respectable. And, you know, not too many times you walk out of a game and you hold your opponent to 74 points. And you think you've, you know, lost a game like that. And it's a battle. You know, this is probably back when I played. It's the Detroit Pistons versus Chicago Bulls, kind of old school basketball, just smash mouth, bang up kind of game. And yeah, we had a good fight.
What was the message to the group after the game, Scott?
It's a series, man. They just held home court and they won one game. And now we get to go home. And we'll see what we can do defending the island back there.
The rebounding battle was big in their favour. I think it was 52-32.
Yep.
What did you make of that, I guess? What does that come down to effort, or is it just bigger bodies on their end?
Well, I think it was 18 offensive rebounds they got, which is obviously a huge amount, and we've been actually doing that to the other teams quite a bit. And credit them; they were just very aggressive, and you know they got some obviously very good athletes. And you know, rebounding and defense is an effort thing. It's not anything about being athletic or anything. It's just about doing your job and boxing out and keeping guys in front of you defensively. And and knowing the game plans, and they were very, very good on the offensive glass, obviously.
Are there things already that you're aware you need to clean up for Game 2, Scott, you can share with us?
Well, we just got done playing, but we got to score more than 63 points. So somewhere along the line, our offense has got to get a little bit better, obviously. And then, for the most part, the 3 regular season games against them, we've defended them fairly well across the board. So, if we hit some shots and things open up, maybe the tide turns a little differently today, but it didn't happen, and credit to them. They were very, very good defensively, and they've always been, and that's, a trademark of Dean, and he's a fantastic coach, and they got after us.
Last one from me, Scott.
Yep.
What were some of the positives, I guess, you can take out of this that you guys did well that you can take into Saturday's matchup?
I think the biggest positive, obviously, is, we were on a path of getting beat by 20 or 30 points very easily there in the third, and these guys continue to fight and battle and scratch back in the game and still make it interesting, and that's all we've asked them to do all year long is compete, and to me, that's a huge positive of our first ever playoff game, to come into the defending champs building and scrap and fight and battle them.
Go ahead, Roy.
G'day, Scott. It's Roy from The Age in Melbourne. You mentioned the rebound battle. How can your side be more competitive in that rebound battle, particularly getting Melbourne off the offensive boards next game?
Well, we were usually the ones doing that, and today it kind of reversed, and so we didn't do as good a job of getting our offensive rebounds, and we just have to be more conscious of sticking bodies and getting after them. And if one of our bigs has to go box out a Chul and take him out of the play, then our guards got to get back and help rebound, and then we have to gang rebound. We're not a very big team, and we're not overly athletic without Magne around, so we've survived the last 3 or 4 months of the season by just gang rebounding and being aggressive, and we'll just have to get back to trying to do that on Saturday.
And what sort of benefit do you want to see? What sort of support do you want to see from your home crowd in Game 2? How big a factor do you think that will be for your team to have a sellout crowd behind them?
Well, it'll be sold out, and they've supported us from day one that way, and the Tasmanian fans have been absolutely awesome, and we're excited to go home and play again in front of them, and we'll have great support, and it'll be great energy in the building, and it's playoff basketball, and it should be fun.
Jared, what was it like for your players tonight to play the first playoff game in JackJumpers history and sort of get your feet under the desk, so to speak, in playoff basketball?
Yeah, I mean, part of it's just learning how playoff basketball works. Obviously, it's a lot more physical. You get away with a lot more. There's a bit of grabbing and holding happening out there that probably gets called during the season that's let go. So all those little things, guys are going to learn from it. We're going to come back the next game and be better. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. We learn from this game, we move on to the next one, and we make the adjustments.
Chris Pike, go ahead.
Jared, I mean, you can't do much about the size that you're giving up to Joe and Ariel. It's just a physical reality. But you've done a really good job of overcoming that all season and battling against that size difference. Both you and Fab and Jack have done a great job. What can you do differently in Game 2 to try to, I guess, lessen the impact those guys are having?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love a growth spurt the next day or two, but barring that, I think we just got to do it by committee. As Scott said, if the bigs just have to take them off the glass and rely on the guards to come back and get it, whatever the case is, all 5 guys in the court are responsible for cleaning that up. It's not just on Fab, it's not just on Jack. Every single guy on the court is responsible for getting that rebound when the shot goes up, and that's what it's got to be.
How excited are you to get home on Saturday night and to experience what it's like to play in front of 5,000 Tasmanians in a playoff game?
Yeah, it should be unreal. Like, that stadium was rocking last week. That was one of the loudest stadiums I've ever played in. It was an unreal atmosphere, and I'm sure the Tassie fans are going to take it to a whole other level with playoffs coming in. So, yeah, I'm really keen, and I'm sure the boys are looking forward to it, and hopefully the Tassie fans bring it.
Any final questions? We're all good. Thanks very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you. That'd be great. Take it down.
Oh, Joe, it's all good. Sure. Move that forward. And I'll take his photos.
So I don't think Everlast would be very happy if we left him there. Not too sweaty.
That's the hard part.
How do you put that? Chair swap.
You all right, mate?
Yeah, all good. I thought I was good, and then, nah. Couldn't quite open the feelings.
Go for it, Roy.
G'day, Dean. It's Roy from the Age here, mate. Can you just give us your thoughts on the game tonight and how it all panned out?
Yeah, I love the way that we came out tonight. I thought Delhi set a tone defensively. The way that him and Shea really attacked their guards early on, and that kind of pushed everybody to another level. The way over the course of the night that, we took away their 3-ball, which has been, something over this last period that, I think they made the most in the league. 10.5 a game over the last little period, and so I thought the way that we guarded the 3 tonight, the ones that they made, I thought that it was us making mistakes as well, and then we foul on a couple that we can improve on as well. So but I love the intent of us just really pressuring their guards, running them off, making it difficult, and then obviously Joe's rim protection tonight, and when people came downhill. Was outstanding, and Ariel as well. He didn't come up with as many block shots, but certainly his ball ups and rim protection was good. I think we had 5 threes at halftime. We end up with 5 threes, and we'll look back at it. And I thought, the looks that Barlow had were good ones. I thought there was a couple more of CGs that were good ones. Delhi, everyone probably had a look in the second half that if we can push that thing back up to the 10 threes that we've been making all year, we probably the score looks a little different for us. But we got the job done defensively tonight to hold in playoff game to hold someone to 63. Is outstanding.
Did someone get some angry pills into Joe or fire him up even more than usual? Because he was really aggressive, as you said, in the paint tonight. Something seemed to get to him after that first quarter. Did anyone say something, or did he just sort of hit another level of commanding?
Yeah, I don't think we got too many touches for him in the first quarter. So, but McIntosh is physical with him, and maybe there was some frustration there, but. I loved his second efforts tonight. I thought he had some amazing, multiple effort plays where he missed something, went back and got it, got an O board, and that was massive for us tonight. The second chance opportunities, if we're not making threes and not getting to the foul line as much, that we really needed another way to score, and second chance opportunities, and then in that third quarter where we really lock up and we see what Caleb Pagada can do as an explosive impact guy. And I thought him and Bubba through that patch, really pushed the score forward and did a great job defensively as well.
Delhi, we saw the debut of Butter after the left hand free throw or the other hand free throw. Mate, how are you feeling? What happened in that situation with your right hand?
It was no good, but I just got hit, behind the elbow. Couldn't feel my fingers for a second. Threw it up a couple times beforehand. I thought it was going to be good, and then was way short. So, should have just subbed out. But after I shot the first, got to shoot the second. So the boys were giving me a bit of crap on that one.
Are you actually feeling all good now, mate? Was it literally just a few moments?
Yeah, it was just a couple minutes and perfectly fine now.
How much pride do you take in the way you guys attacked in waves tonight, Delhi? It seemed like you and Shea early, Bubba, Agata, everyone, it seemed like you just kept hitting them with someone different each time. Yeah,
that's the strength of this team. We're really deep, and when you're out there, you got to be going 100%. And they've got 2 great guards, and we just wanted to try to wear them down and really set the tone from the start with me and Shilly. And then I think, like Dean said, Caleb, Bubba, Newells, everyone did a good job coming in.
Go ahead, Chris.
Dean, you talked about the defensive performance. I'm sure you feel like you can do better offensively. Didn't get to the foul line a lot in the first half especially. Is that just a matter of needing to be a bit more aggressive, or would you hope to get a bit more calls, or how did you see that?
Yeah, I think we had 17 three-point attempts at halftime, and so I thought that was, that's probably 4 or 5 above the area to say, if we could have attacked 4 or 5 more times and, turn half of those into free throws, I thought we would have been better as well. But, the second half, again, we don't make a 3. And so, that won't happen again. We'll make some shots and, finish some plays. I thought still on the break, even when our pace was pretty good, but there's still an efficiency level that we've got to just either get fouled or finish the break as well.
Go ahead, Nick.
Hi Dean, hi Dally. Good win tonight, Dally. Can you talk to me a little bit about your mindset coming into the game? I don't know whether this is right or not, but it looked like the ball was in your.
I mean, I definitely, wanted to be aggressive early, try to get my feet in the paint, and I think I did a pretty good job of that. But just trying to set the tone at the start. No, kind of strategic change or anything like that.
When you came out after half time, did you sort of know that the lift was going to come? It was a pretty third quarter, the defensive lift, and the way that you just got out and ran.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to come out and really defend and not give them, any opportunities to get on a roll and, to hold them to 7 points when, they've been playing really well, knocking down a lot of threes is a great effort by everyone. I think the guards did a good job of climbing in, but it helps as a guard knowing you have rim protection like Joe, Whitey back there. It gives us a lot of confidence to be able to climb in.
Any final questions, Nick? Or are you on mute?
Yeah, sorry, mate. The connection's a little bit unstable, but all good. Dean, can you also talk about that third for me? What did you tell the boys at half time and see it coming?
Yeah, I'll always talk about three things offensively and three things defensively. I thought we pride ourselves on trying to, get 3 stops in a row at different times, and we didn't get that done once in the first half. So it was once we'd established getting 2 stops, could we take it to another level? And I think there was a run of 7, 8 stops during that third quarter, and so thought it was just a better focus because I thought in the first half when we got 2 stops and they hit a 3 or we made a coverage mistake or fouled or something like that. So through that third quarter, I just thought we were so much more solid in our coverage and our communication.
Scott Roth in his post-game likened it to smash mouth basketball and the old bad boy Pistons versus Chicago Bulls battles in the NBA. Do you think that's a good analogy? Was it physical?
Yeah, I think anytime you put, probably arguably the 2 best defensive teams in the league in a playoff series, I'm kind of not surprised about what we saw tonight and the commitment of both teams to defend and to fight through screens and do everything they can to make it difficult. So I enjoyed those battles back in the day that they're talking about. I was a Pistons fan back in the day, so we're certainly not the bad boys, but we get after it defensively.
What about sort of heading down to Tasmania? What are you expecting? And obviously you'd be hopeful to close it out.
Yeah, down to the disco thing was pretty loud there with the music last time, but their crowd was outstanding, and whenever they, what you want from your home crowd is if you get on a little run, can it excite you to play even a higher level basketball? And I thought there was certainly a period in the third quarter, last game down there that they did that, and they made some really tough shots and some deep threes, and just found a rhythm and a momentum when they got going. And so as long as we can go down there, weather those little storms and show a very similar commitment defensively, make a few more shots, I think it'll be a really entertaining game.
Thanks, James. Thanks, Nick. Any final questions? We are all good. Thanks very much.
Thanks, guys.
Melbourne.